This episode is brought to you by Les Mills, Bespoke Post, and Upstart. But I'll tell you more about those guys a bit later. Let's get on with the show. Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast. We appreciate you being part of this here. Send those emails at drdrewafterdark@gmail.com and also our voice messages, of which we're getting great messages, tons of them, 818-253-1693. Be sure to look for the family of pods at drdrew.com. We appreciate your support over there as well. Sign up for the contact list and take a look. If you go to drdrew.tv, that's where I'd actually like you to go and sign up. We will send you an email blast when I do a live show where you can call in and ask questions. It's a live interactive show. We tend to do it on the weekends, and it's on multiple platforms. You can see it essentially anywhere. But please be a part of that show if you don't mind. Speaking of being part of the show, it's a pleasure to welcome back Josh Potter.
Hello,
welcome,
how are you, sir?
Good.
Good to see ya.
You and I have a lot to go over.
I know. I'm excited.
Okay, so first of all, no orgasm in Amsterdam.
No. Amsterdam's where I hooked up with a prostitute.
Yes, as the custom.
And that wasn't my cup necessarily.
Why not? What happened?
Because I found out that...
too clinical?
It was very too much clinical.
That's what they always say. They wear gloves and they almost a medical procedure.
I thought a doctor was giving me a blowjob. It
was
like... She was swabbing me down, and then she was putting on, like you said, gloves. I mean, she didn't have gloves on, but it might as well. She put a condom on and blew me over the condom. I'm like, what are we even doing, Well,
did you...
Is that even a blowjob? My mom could blow me over a condom. It wouldn't be anything,
I'm not sure I want to go there. and so how does it work? I mean, do you see somebody in the window and go... Because Amsterdam's got the red light district. I assume that's where you went, right?
No.
And
we
these
went
are little
to...
shops.
We were persuaded by a cab driver not to go to the red light district.
Why?
He said, quote, "You want the young bitches, right?" And I said, "Yes, of course. That's exactly what I'm looking for." He said, "The people in the windows, they're old and tired."
Oh.
So I said, "Take me to these young bitches." And so we went to a house, and there they gave you the whole rundown. They said, it's this much money. This is a sex club. If you're not here to have sex, get the fuck out, basically.
What would you be there for otherwise?
Just, hanging out, loitering, drinking.
Trying to make a girlfriend out of these sex
Maybe
workers?
that's what they
were worried about.
Worried about, yeah. But so you sit there, and
how
while
dare
you're
you want
there,
companionship?
Exactly,
you loser. Get out.
Well, you don't want to. These girls, they're expensive.
Yeah,
companionship costs some money.
How much was it?
It was €300 for the basic floor model.
So it's a $500 visit, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just for a blowjob.
That's blowjob and sex.
Okay, all right.
To do a little extra.
What do you mean floor model?
Well, that's because I found out there's some bells and whistles you can add.
Oh.
For €200 more.
Which is anal plugs?
Which was I guess kissing and licking is what she described it as. But I'd imagine it'd be more the things that are my speed or that I would enjoy out of it, is some contact with the woman as opposed to just my dick going inside of her.
Right.
So, you're at the bar and they ask you what you want to drink. You have a drink. And then they, at the bar are the women. There's 3 of them at the time I was there.
And are the drinks $80 kind of thing?
Oh, I believe so, yeah. I was lucky enough not to be paying that evening, so that was very nice.
Who was paying?
This was Mr. Segura was.
It's on your mom's house.
The bill.
Oh,
yes.
He was flipping them.
Indeed, yes, it was on the. It was
your mom's house. You all paid for it.
Yeah, company expenditures.
Okay.
So there were 3 or 4 at the bar, and they really didn't waste any time with, going up my ass about who I'm picking here.
What do you mean?
Because I thought they were going to bring more out. I get to see a whole roster.
Yeah.
And then I can get my scouting report together and decide which one I want to take
fantasy
upstairs.
football league.
Exactly.
Wait, I'm confused. So you had to choose amongst that 3, and that was that?
Well, that's the way that I gathered, because he was like, "All right, which one do you want?" I was like, "Well, I guess no more are coming out here."
Everybody speaks English?
Yes, for the most part. I picked an Italian woman, and she spoke English, yes, and she was from Milan. Came over to Amsterdam willingly from all that I gathered.
Did you have small talk with her?
Too much, yes. Too much small talk.
Why?
Because I was at first we didn't have any small talk. We kind of went straight into sex stuff. And then after a little while, nothing was going to be happening
For you.
for me. No, I
Not
couldn't
even an
even maintain
erection?
an erection
Oof.
during it. Like we had sex for a little while, then it just got to be. I think I caught her looking out the window at one point, and I was just like,
Yeah.
all right, this isn't going well.
This is
for
not
me
going to
here.
overcome the Josh
No.
Potter hump, so to speak.
I realized that the thing that I really enjoy most of all about sex is that they're enjoying it or that they're into it.
Oh, so that's always a good part of it, right?
Right. That's gone when it comes to these women
Yeah.
because they're working.
Yeah.
And there's no way to overcome that.
Yeah.
So once that entered my brain, it was game over. And then we talked about like, so what brings you to Amsterdam and that kind of thing. She didn't come over in a barrel or anything like that from what I learned.
How old was she?
24.
And it's all government controlled and all that stuff.
I don't know. She didn't say any of that, but she really was she asked me a lot of questions about the homeless problem in Los Angeles.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, she's very conscious of that.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining you're traveling with Mr. Segura at this point. This was
Yes.
part of his tour, the European tour.
Indeed, yes.
I'm imagining he didn't stop there. Like if I know Tom, you're like, well, we're going to have to.
Well, he wanted me to have sex with multiple whores
Right.
in order to figure this out.
Right.
And I told
I
him,
know
I
my
said,
Tom
no,
Segura.
see, man, it's the whole nature of the business. As a sex worker, then I start seeing them as peers and we're comparing notes.
So
and
you're a
things
sex
like that.
worker at that point.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm a sex worker just in life.
Oh,
I'm on,
you're
I don't know if you know, I'm on Cameo as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you.
And?
Except I do the greatest shoulder hair porn the country's ever seen.
Greatest what?
Shoulder hair pornography. It's very niche. It's something that I've devised.
Can you give us a
And,
little hint so people can?
I mean,
I don't want you to
I'm
give
not
it for
taking
free.
them out here for free.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
Just for the world to see. But
do you like? Is it a strip hair shoulder?
oh, they're out usually from get go, and then I can, because on Cameo
do you
people ask
braid
you
it or do you
stuff.
braid it or like?
I'll do whatever
comb it.
Whoever's paying for it gets to decide these things.
Comb it.
Yeah, I've combed it. Yes, I've run a comb through it while I call a guy a stupid bitch or something like that, So, yeah, so when I'm with another sex worker,
did you call Robert Paul Champagne for some notes on how to do this?
he is an inspiration, I got to say, with all his characters.
Oh, we'll get into that in a
Oh,
minute.
my
don't you?
goodness. But,
Yeah.
I wish I had the range he has.
He's rangy.
Brilliant, yeah.
He is rangy. So,
Yeah.
so this is a new pursuit. It's inspired by RPC.
A little bit. I mean, it's been going on
I
for
asked
a few
him,
months.
by the way. So
Yeah.
we're here today in the aftermath of my visit to
That's
RPC.
right. You just came back.
And I asked him why he didn't do something where he could get paid. Why not do Cameo? Why not do a cam series if that's what he's into?
Do you think it's a functionality thing?
What do you mean? Like
Meaning
he can't
just
figure it
can't
out?
figure out how to set it up.
It's very hard to tell with him because he's so oblique with all his answers.
Yes.
Right? He's evasive.
It's
all the
almost like
time.
he's covering up the fact that he doesn't want to admit maybe he doesn't know how to do something.
Or he doesn't. He's so evasive at all times that everything's evasive and he doesn't even think about it.
Right.
Right? So he's just always a little bit evasive, almost no matter what you ask him.
Yeah.
And underneath that is not a desire to protect himself from being seen as someone who can't do things technically.
Oh, okay.
He just doesn't want anybody to tell him what to do.
Interesting.
We got into it on his teeth. I don't think you saw that.
I saw that. Yes, I've seen
and-
the little bits and pieces.
And you see when I bring up the teeth, he's like, yeah, I'm going. Like, well, then, no, you're not.
Right.
And yeah, I need to do it. I go, yeah, you need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Yeah, I need to do it. It was a perfect example of how he thinks, which is his desire is to have a talk show on TV.
Oh, yes, I've seen.
Yeah.
Or
Did
I've
he-
heard.
did he
He's
mention that to
mentioned
you
this
too?
to me. He
Yeah.
wants to do it a very adult.
Yeah, adult talk show.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you're going to have to get those teeth fixed. Yes, I know I do. Okay, let's go. When are we going? I know I need to do. You going to make an
And you
appointment?
don't see
I
any
know
of
I
that
need to do.
bravado as like a deflection, meaning like he's embarrassed by it, but he's like, oh, these old things or something like that. I just always...
He did not seem, I got right past the embarrassment. I was going
I
to make
see.
him, I was going for shame.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't there. He deflects
It's
to
tough
to
for
it.
that man to have any, I would imagine.
Yeah. We'll get more into him in a second. I'm still back.
But yeah, so me and my fellow sex worker were
Yes.
there, after post-coital.
Did she want to braid the shoulder hair or anything?
She didn't comment on it. I didn't ask her either. I thought she would be like,
Impressed.
impressed.
Yeah,
Yeah, like look at what luxurious shoulder hair you have. You should be in the game. And I was like, I am in the game. I fantasized about all that. But no, yeah, it was It was pretty cut and dry after that. We rounded out the time with a nice conversation at the end
about homelessness.
You know, to get Tom his money's worth.
But why not do more? At least one more. I'm surprised Tom.
Well, at that point, I felt bad that he's spending his money on me just not doing anything, basically. So I was kind of like, you know, save your money. Let's go find some civilians.
Okay.
You know, so
yeah, and
I would much rather him have spent that money letting me run up a bar tab talking to a regular.
How'd that go? Did you try that?
I had some fun later in the trip. Yeah, that was a good time.
With a person?
With a regular person.
And had sex?
I did not come, but we had a good time. You know, I don't see that as necessarily the end-all, be-all as far as whether or not it was a victory, you know?
Just an enjoyable experience as a victory.
Exactly.
Is she the Make Josh Come contest winner?
She was in there, too. She also was during the trip, and that was just as much fun. Yeah,
where does she live?
Fantastic. She lives in Ottawa,
Canada.
Yeah, but Tom flew her to a gig we were doing.
You see his commitment here for you?
Oh, I know, and it's like
he would
a lot of pressure.
A couple $100 on another prostitute is not a big deal.
I said to him, he's literally spent thousands of dollars just to get me laid, and I don't know how to repay him for that.
And
I said I'm going to just at his eulogy just tell everyone like what a great man he is for this. Tell his grandchildren, you know, your grandfather spent thousands of dollars to get me pussy. Mm-hmm. I will repay it to all of you, however many grandchildren he has.
Talking to them, telling them about that.
I'll spend the money to get them laid.
3, 4.
You know, you think they're only going to be 3 or 4 when he dies? I'm
just saying. So there's some things Tom does that confuses me, but but it always pays out in the end.
Okay.
Like that beer commercial.
Yes.
I was confused until the end. Then I was like, okay, perfect.
Because it was so sweet.
Yes. I was shocked. I was like, something is wrong.
Yeah.
And then we got to the end. I'm like, there's the Tom I know. So I'm looking for the payoff on this story too.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I hope that for him, the payoff has been me just enjoying these sexual encounters.
Well, of course, that's not his intention.
For me to enjoy them? I think his intention is for me to nut, probably.
Yes, this is a challenge. You understand?
Yes.
This is a challenge for him. This is nothing to do with you. This is finding a solution to a problem that seems unsolvable.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And he wants to triumph over this. It's sort of like MacArthur or something. You know, he's like a general, and he's got it's more of that. Mm-hmm. Nothing to do with your enjoyment. How dare you?
Well, I'm just saying I'm enjoying it.
That's good.
Whatever he needs to do.
You need to cooperate more. You need to be a better soldier.
How would you like me to do that? I'm all about it, by the way.
Well, this business of we don't have to do more prostitutes. I'm worried about you spending your money. And then the poor guy,
was just where my head was.
And then the poor guy has to fly somebody in from Canada. Come on.
He also didn't offer more prostitutes, to be quite honest.
Well, you need to be more assertive.
I should have asked for more.
Yes.
You know, Tom,
Nadav,
this one.
Am I right? Nadav, is there anything wrong with what I'm saying here?
No.
Right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with asking for more.
No, in terms of what would make Tom happy.
This is kind of like a byproduct of
Wait
all
a minute,
of this.
before you ask that.
Yeah.
Nadav, would that or would that not make Tom happy?
I think he'd love it.
See? And Christina, they would all love it. So anyway, what's the byproduct?
I feel real, like, not shame, I don't know what it is, but when someone's spending money on me like that, I feel weird.
Yeah, of course. I think that's normal.
Okay.
I think any like reasonably nice person, really would feel that way.
I don't want to get greedy about it either. I mean, I'm willing to.
But I'm coaching you up. I'm here to tell you.
Okay.
You're going to make Tom. This is his joy. This is spending. It's like buying a fine sports car for him.
I mean, if his kids don't want to go to college, I'll take that money for my horse.
He'll get around to that
whatever.
eventually.
Okay, cool.
This is something far more important.
I agree.
So
I'm so on board.
The world needs to be back on its axis. You see, the world's out of alignment when with
But
your
prostitution,
problem.
I don't think is the.
I get it. You have
answer.
to have a person.
Yeah, I think that I need them to
want it. Make
if not
Josh,
more than
how
I
was the
want.
make Josh come lady?
She was fantastic.
Well, why didn't that work?
I think it could have worked if we had more time together. I think it's one of those things like we spent a lot of time together. Don't get me wrong, but I bet like if we kept going for maybe like a week or something, it would have.
Was she happy with the experience?
She had a good time.
All right, good.
Yeah, she had a pretty good time.
How'd you know?
She expressed that in many flowery language after the fact. So
nice. That must felt good.
Yeah, no, I love that part. So that's my favorite part. That's the whole reason I'm in the game.
Right.
So.
Well, that's sort of all.
Which she couldn't do it with the prostitute. I'm like, can I finger you? And she was like, on the outside. I'm like, okay, well, that's not gonna be any fun. You know, why even bother?
God, you're a pure romantic.
Yeah, right? Hey, can I finger you, lady? On the outside. On the outside?
Oh, my God.
How am I supposed to touch your heart if I can't get through your pussy?
The dove like that too much.
Oh.
I'm not sure I'm going to go. Again, not sure I'm going to go there. Okay, let's do a little RPC conversation.
Yeah, because, I mean, you went there
I went.
just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, just a little very recently I went, and he was lovely.
Yes, wasn't he?
Lovely. Anything I report, I have to say I'm going to feel guilty.
Of course.
Because he is
and
so lovely.
I feel like you, after the fact, expressed through certain channels that maybe I didn't prepare you enough for what you were in for when you went there.
No, Paul was clear that I was not prepared just by the way I behaved. Like I sat on the couch immediately.
Oh.
And no one prepared me for what might.
Well, I feel like that's the best way to go about it. You just got to kind of dive right in.
I dove in, but I did not give any thought to bed bugs and lice and all this kinds of stuff and cat
Can't
pests
think about those things.
and the scent that would follow me in my clothing
for the rest of your life.
Seemingly,
yeah.
I washed the clothing. It did not come out. I contemplated incinerating the clothing, but continued to wash.
It really lingers on there.
It lingers
on a textile.
And Paul Bazile, God bless him, he's the guy that handled the camera. You see him in the opening little sequence that I filmed on Instagram, or my video, and we couldn't get Robert to answer the phone.
Right. Either could I at that point.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
So we showed up. I just told us we're going in, and I went in and dove in with both feet, actually head first, and we sat down, and his cat was, you don't see a lot of it in the video, but the cat was...
Ashley.
Ashley was busy the whole time.
Really?
Ashley needed to be washed.
Okay.
And I did not contemplate the fleas and things that would come off Ashley.
So you kind of had an idea from what I said about going in, but it comes back to the point where you said you feel guilt about expressing these things.
Yeah, because
he is such a lovely
He's
man.
a lovely man, and he's got some stuff going on.
Right.
You know? And the stuff, fundamentally is about him. If you've ever watched Hoarders on TV, right?
Yes.
You see how when they make people do things they don't want to do on that show, how they react? That's a fundamental feature of how Robert's put together.
Okay.
So he doesn't want anybody to get in his way, in his shit, in his anything.
Right.
He just wants to be left alone.
Despite him saying otherwise.
But he wants to do it himself.
Right.
And so if anybody were to try to change things, it's like couple things that, were impressive. The kitchen was impressive.
Yeah. See, you had more experience in the kitchen than I had.
Yeah.
Because you were originally going to shoot in there, from what I understand.
Oh no,
or that was a plan, maybe.
No. We asked him where he wanted to shoot. He showed us where, and we did. And we managed to get enough light to sort of get some decent shots. And I sat on the couch and interviewed him.
Same place where I sat. From
seemed like it.
What
he
I
sits
recall.
in that one chair.
I
think that's the chair.
No, totally.
I think that's where it
100%.
all goes down, is in that chair.
Did you get a glimpse of it without him sitting in it?
No,
Were you like, should I sit here?
I sort of knew the couch was a safer spot.
Okay.
I instinctively knew.
Just checking.
And I asked everything I wanted to ask. What you'll see in some of it's a multi-part series, right? There's a lot of going on. In the kitchen, as I said, you'll have to witness. I hope Paul got the proper. But the one thing in there that was striking for us, amongst many, many things, was there was probably 300 packages of donuts and cookies there piled up, and a bunch of cakes piled up.
We remember from the video that we watched of mine, when I had a little bit of a tour, there were stacks of cakes, and you had asked about that. I remember last time we went into it.
Yeah.
Did you get an answer as to where they come from or anything?
People give me cakes. People give me these things, was his note.
Well, that's nice.
And I expressed my concern with him getting diabetes and other things, and couldn't get anywhere.
Does it look like any of the cakes get consumed?
Not really. That's what's sort of fascinating about it. The cakes look, and they don't look that old. The cookies and the sort of the Keebler products looked like they've been there a while. There were a lot of flies. A lot of flies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was afraid to open my mouth.
Really?
In the kitchen.
I'm saying really, like I wasn't there before.
In the kitchen. Was it like that when you
it
were
was,
there?
yeah, it was like that. It was pretty prevalent. And I went in July.
Oh.
So
And you'll see me during the interview doing some of this. That
I noticed. Yes,
yeah.
I did a lot of like pretend it's not happening. If a fly lands on you, you're like, "What was that?" You know what I mean? You don't even acknowledge it.
Right.
I went in there with a little more. I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I didn't have any recon before I went in there.
Right.
So.
You were the recon for me.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yeah. And so. I got a very lovely tour after a while, and I ended up putting on some of his masks and costumes.
Interesting. You didn't care about the bed bugs or fleas at
Well,
that point, huh?
Paul was very freaked out that I did that. So he was that was the first thing that really sent him a reeling. The kitchen, he's still having a little trouble with.
Now, the director, Paul Brazil, by the way, has been there before.
Yeah.
But the way that I hear about this trip, it's almost like he's blocked that entire day out of his mind, and this was all like reliving it again.
I think the other one went a little faster and not quite as deep into the operations. This thing. And in fact, he spoke highly of your desire to move it along. Like apparently he had left something in the car, and you're like, no, we're going.
He wanted to get lights at one point. I was like, we're not getting lights. We're
moving.
sitting here. We're start rolling, please.
And he appreciated that. He went in with the same this time with the same like. We got to get Bin Laden.
Guerrilla mentality.
Get him and get out of here. The helicopters are waiting.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And but I enjoyed my tour.
Good.
Saw a lot of the costumes. Like really, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's YouTube pages I don't think we have found yet that he tells me about.
Oh, where he's used them in
where he uses
videos.
them in his videos and his behaviors and stuff. And I keep asking him, why is this part of your masturbatory habits? I mean, what is this?
Yeah.
I just like giving people a fantasy to relieve and feel good about themselves.
He paints a picture every time.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating.
You get the same thing? Same when you were talking to him?
Yeah, no, he talks about how he wants to entertain and he wants to bring people out of this their milieu of their lives or whatever. And I find that very interesting.
It's very interesting, and you can't fault him for that.
No, it's noble.
We found out that his mom read pornography to him when he was 10.
That was a new discovery that I did not get in my interview with him. I found that very interesting.
And I'm not sure if it's on the little video you've seen, but the dad beat the shit out of him.
Oh no, I did not. I did not dig that one. I heard
you heard that, yeah.
He mentioned some things of the dad being abusive, and I kind of was like, let's talk more about.
So for me, I just went right in. I go, were you being abused? Oh no. And then finally we get around to it. Oh yeah, dad beat the shit out of me. So stepdad. It was stepdad.
Yeah.
And so between the beating and the crazy mom, we get RPC.
Robert Paul Champagne.
Yeah, we get the whole
beautiful flower growing out of manure.
Yeah. And we found something that you didn't find, and you've not seen yet, and you're going to have to behold.
Oh boy.
Which is, he doesn't exactly practice Santeria, but he prays to the devil, and he has a whole altar to the devil there.
What?
Yes.
A devil altar?
Yes.
Where was this in?
It's easy to miss, but it's part of the bar.
Oh, okay.
He's sort of, and he lights the candles and prays to the.
Well, that explains Lucifer's lair.
Yes, all the Lucifer stuff. So we have. Have you seen the Lucifer Layers videos and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
And what goes on there? Is that?
He just says he's in Lucifer's lair. I thought that just was what he called his house. But now apparently he's practicing some sort of devil worshiping in some sort of way.
Some sort of way.
Hey.
And so I kept asking him, is this, what is this? I couldn't get a straight answer about what it's doing for him. But he definitely loves the dark side.
It's a lot of minutes in the day, Dr. Drew. You got to kill him somehow.
Indeed. And I suspect, I don't know if Paul's up for this, but we may have to do another visit.
Poor Paul. He's like, don't make me go back there.
He really gets traumatized by it. It really bothers him. And I've been working in medicine a long time, so funky smells are like part of the deal.
Sure. And I'm me, so I mean, like, I can deal with them.
Right. And so maybe we should go together.
I'm down with that.
I would
have come this last time. It was just too time crunch.
Yeah, Nadav. That's got to be the next trip. This one.
We should just have a party.
A good trilogy.
Yeah, it is a trilogy. There's a lot more you've got to see about you're all going to get to see it, I guess, in various ways. I'm not sure how it's all going to get rolled out, but there's a whole. It's War and Peace. I mean, there's a long interview and a lot of stuff going on.
Now, you feared when we spoke last that you would come away with it with sort of a codependent issue.
Yes, I do have that already. You have it too.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
You knew
Yeah.
that already. You
Yeah.
could see it in me, even though I'm not even necessarily prone to do something.
No, we
like
were
that.
both talking about him as lovely and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I feel bad for him, and I want to, make things okay for him. That's
Right.
all that codependent stuff. Yeah.
That's why I wasn't sure if you walked out of there with like a set list of things, like you're like, I got to do this, I got to do that.
No, it was not like that because he would not give enough to hook me that way.
Interesting,
Which I kind of
okay.
appreciated.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
wants to be left alone.
100%.
But left alone to do his
content.
his content.
Yeah.
His content in this world that is this. Come on, let's talk about the house. The
Yeah,
apartment.
please.
It is so full of shit, and I don't mean, although there may be some cat shit and stuff in there. You can't move.
No, it's just wall to wall.
But even the hallway, you have to walk sideways down it, and the rooms are filled with. You can't walk into the room.
Well, he let you into rooms he wouldn't even let me in.
I know, and they're
So
filled.
that's exciting.
And it's the dolls and the costumes, and he pointed all his crystals to me, and I was
His antiques.
they're plastic, and I felt
Yeah.
bad for him for that. I'm like, no.
Well, yeah, what do you do?
The YMH world needs to get him some real crystals.
Sure. I mean, I feel like he's like, he got all these antiques. I don't know what to do with them. And then you're looking around. You're like, I don't know what to do with these. I don't even know what to tell you.
It's all there's sheets or blankets essentially over all the windows, right? So you can't. There's no.
It's like a cave.
There's no air. Number one.
None.
Yeah, and number two, no light.
Right.
Right.
So did you move a sheet from a window to get more light into the room? I noticed some natural light.
No, that was just him getting the camera right and stuff. We had things adjusted properly. We took our time setting up the shot, even though we didn't get lights. But there's a room with light, the bird room.
The bird room. Now, you
and
told me about
and-
this. I'm
and
fascinated.
air. We were Paul and I were like, literally
Oh, it had an open window.
something where there was air in that bird room.
Now, is it called the bird room because pigeons randomly fly into it?
No,
once
there
in a
are
while?
parakeets in there. He has birds,
Oh my God!
and
what?
and I noticed he had like a background sound machine going, and it was of birds. And I thought, oh, what's this? You like birds? Yes, I like birds. In fact, I got birds in the back. I must see them.
Oh my goodness!
And so they're in the bird room, and he was real resistant at first, and so we finally went.
He's got a bird room
He's got a bird room.
in New
So-
York.
I know. So I'm gonna have to take you on a tour of his apartment next time we
I'm
go.
down.
Yeah,
Show me some of the.
we
costumes
should
you
go
put
in
on.
next time with like goals, like things we want to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I was curious if you came out of that with like of anything.
that was
going
still
forward,
That was
you
just
know?
a combat mission.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I walked out of there, people were like, "What did he say? What was it like?" And it was kind of a blur for me. It was kind of like a battle.
Right. I have pretty explicit memory of what happened. I just feel like a lot more could get done. I mean, you can only spend so much time in there.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like literally going down on a diving bell or something. It's like, okay, we're out of oxygen, and literally, and when we decided it was time to go, it was time to go.
yeah.
It was just like we can't do it anymore. It's like a
Well,
weird,
yeah.
It's a very that to me was a kind of a striking experience. And I think the kitchen had something to do with that. We spent a little time in there, and then it was like, okay, we got to go, and we just had to like move.
What if next time?
It's like out, escape. Get
what
out,
if
get
we
out.
encourage him to come out of the apartment?
And go do something? He and I went down that path a little bit because I told him I wanted to go to Coney Island and see the show and stuff.
Yeah, it's in the summertime. I found out only, but hey, that's something. I mean, just getting him out of the apartment and seeing him in the world,
like
would be,
riding the subway with him to Coney Island. Would be
yeah, or like
fantastic.
seeing. It's like what's your favorite lunch spot?
It really would be like seeing a unicorn or something.
Yeah, out in the wild.
All right, man. That is our mission.
I agree. That's something.
We have a new mission, and that'll be this summer, right?
Okay.
Nadav, we have your blessing on this.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Well, you still haven't seen what I came away with here. We came away with people will appreciate.
I'm excited. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm itching. I came away very scratchy.
I
whole
mean, it's one of those things. I was like having that like, is there a bug on me? But
Yes,
there's not
yes,
kind of thing.
yes, for days and days.
Yes.
And I assumed there was. I just took all the necessary precautions, but I am having the itchy feeling right now just thinking about
And
it.
you had to go to another engagement after your interview.
I had a social engagement.
Did you like smell bad or anything?
I don't know. I made sure I was covered. It was cold out, so I put multiple layers on
okay.
top. But I and thank God I had the wisdom to put my coat and stuff over a chair elsewhere, not sit directly on the couch.
Because I didn't have the foresight. Going back now, you're like, geez, what an idiot. But like,
Yeah.
I put my clothes like in my bag afterwards and everything, and I got home back to Los Angeles after days, and I opened my bag and I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It came with me. It traveled in the plane.
Yes. I'm not surprised. Yeah, no, I immediately threw everything in the washing machine as soon as I got home, and I was pleased that nobody complained. I kept testing and making sure. I think because I just sat sort of on the edge of the couch, somehow I made it out okay. The only thing I worried about was vermin.
It's crazy that the smell can be that.
Yeah, I've had
just
that
based off of.
I've had that happen in medical practice before, where some extreme, particularly anaerobic bacteria, gets in your nose. You can't get it up for a week.
What's that, like a dead body?
It's similar kinds of smells.
Yeah, is that like when Jodie Foster's putting that shit under her face? Okay,
or
cool.
like
that's what we should do
Jaws.
next time.
Ooh, that's an idea.
Yeah,
I'll find out what that is.
It's just Vicks Vapor Rub, I think.
I like.
I don't
that.
know. You're the doctor.
Well, we don't. They never offered me anything like that, so I never saw what it was. I just was stuck with the smell. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about. We do have more to talk about with RPC.
No, I'm excited to see all the things. I've only seen segments of your interview. Everyone's gonna love it, and I'm excited to see the tour.
My wife rewatched your interview as a result. Went, Josh did a good interview with RPC.
Well, thank you.
So Nadav, any questions on your front?
I mean, how long did it take you to get the smell out of your nose?
A couple days.
Couple days,
but you do spend a couple days going, is that my clothing or is that just the smell left over?
Or it's just like, is this a memory?
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah,
because you're like, does it even really smell, or am I just never gonna forget this?
That's you cannot tell the difference.
Right,
it's impossible. Yeah, and
I
again,
can remember it and smell it right now.
Yes, I can too.
Yeah,
and it is I don't want to say it's unspeakable. It's indescribable.
Indescribable. And I feel, like I said, terrible saying that, because I'm sure he's going to watch this, and he's already expressed to me how he's like, I'm sorry, the sink, this, that, excuses for it, the smell. I love you, man. I don't.
I love him too, and it is, and he shouldn't feel bad. It's how he's chosen to live, and if you don't have ventilation in a New York housing project, and you accumulate couple lifetimes worth of stuff, and a cat, it's gonna smell.
Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to ask you about. You said while you were navigating through the neighborhood to find his apartment, you got recognized.
Yeah, when I took the subway up to 125th, and it was walking through Harlem that I've got a big fan base.
Yeah, okay.
It was fun. It was actually kind of fun.
Like, Dr. Drew!
Yeah, it was hard to get through, actually. Hard to get to. I was afraid I wouldn't make it before it really started raining. It was raining that day, too. Take a quick break so I can tell you about our friends at Les Mills. It is a brilliant app. Look at this thing. The videos, the graphics are fantastic, and the options, Body Pump, Body Combat, Les Mills Grit. I mean, there's so many different options for workouts here. It's a way to ensure you stay on top of your health and fitness. The workouts range from 15 to 55 minutes. So you can squeeze them in with no excuses. Over 800 fitness workouts that include yoga, dance, cycling, strength training, kids workouts. I mean, they really have thought about it all in the Les Mills app. My favorite part is really just having the great variety on the app and to be able to find things that I can do no matter where I am. There's a difference between what I've seen and the Les Mills On Demand. It's a global fitness leader. They've been creating world-leading fitness programs for over 50 years. Every week, millions work out with Les Mills. The programs are taught by over 140,000 certified instructors. It's amazing how rich this community is. It's really amazing. So you have access to these things, whether the core conditioning, cycling, yoga fusion, dance, ballet-inspired training, mind work, body work. It's all there, including things like martial arts-inspired cardio, dance. It's all here. Strength training. Here's what I want you to do right now. For our listeners, we have a special offer from Les Mills On Demand where you get 21-day free access to their fitness app. So don't wait and go to try Les Mills, T-R-Y, lesmills.com/Drew. Again, that is TRYLESMILLS.com/Drew to get this special offer. Again, try lesmills.com/Drew. You have nothing to lose. It's a great app. You get 21 days for free. Trust me, you'll be super impressed. Again, it's try Les Mills, TRYLESMILLS.com/Drew. Let's say thank you to our next sponsor, Box of Awesome. Now, this winter, you can start a new monthly routine that will upgrade your life and style with Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post sends guys only the best stuff every month. So whether you're looking to craft your own hard cider or toast perfectly aged winter cocktails, All things you can't really do on your own. You need an expert to select that box of awesome. They've got you covered from style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, outdoor gear. Box of Awesome has carefully built collections for every part of your life. I like this Weekender, the Weekender travel bag. This is what I'm interested in, this particular box. And let me click on this. Yes. And look at that's in that bag. In that Weekender bag is all the things I need for travel. Now, to get started, take the quick quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers then help them pick out the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box costs about $45, but has at least $7 worth of gear inside. So to get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com, enter the code Dr. Drew at checkout. That is Box of Awesome, BOXOFAWESOME, boxofawesome.com, code DRDREW for 20% off your first box, boxofawesome.com. Next up, let's thank our friends at Upstart, our next sponsor. And as most of you have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy, but getting out is hard, especially if your credit score is not great. Thankfully, now there is Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you are more than just your credit score. They offer smarter interest rates to help you pay off high interest rate credit card debt. And guys like Sickler can consolidate all their student loan debt and their credit card debt. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. And even guys like Sickler can show up as creditworthy. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you and they understand. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes. Best part, once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day, the next day. Over 300,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards or meet their financial goals. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked number one in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/Dr. Drew to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes, and it will not affect your credit. That is upstart.com/DRDREW. Now let's get back to the show. All right, let's get to FedSmoker harasses cop.
Ooh.
Is this the same guy again?
It sure is.
Oh no!
Yeah, so we have more videos for you to,
That's a cool
dive
dude.
more into the psyche of
Another
the
cool
FedSmoker.
dude.
What I love about this particular installment of the FedSmoker is that he just walks up to a cop with unabashed, like, doesn't even give a shit that like, if I see a cop in a gas station, I keep my eyes straight. I'm like, don't draw any attention. I feel like if the cop notices me, he's gonna be like, hey, come here, and he's gonna try and arrest me for something.
Sure.
This guy, he's just like, oh, there's a cop, I'm gonna go harass
I'm gonna go
him.
fight him.
Pretty
Hey, are you
much.
State Patrol? What's your name? What is it? And
What's
who's
he
your
do?
captain?
The captain out here, or captain
Yeah, you're captain.
where I'm from? Darce Wheel.
I just had a sheriff deputy and his buddy come up and go, was you filming some lady? Did you hear about it?
What? Was he
It's
filming
like
some
he's
lady?
just talking nonsense to this cop.
Okay.
Imagine being the cop. He has no context either for this, and he's hearing
Yeah.
all of it too.
He's like, what is going on here?
But
What
he's
does
got
this guy
that
want?
tone where it's like somebody who talks to cops like an asshole. Do you know what I'm saying? Where they're like, "You hear about it, guy?"
Yeah.
You know, like that.
No,
whole thing.
the cop is on the defensive. He's tired of people hassling him. He deals with the public all the time. And here we go.
Well, the cops that don't know that cameras are legal need to be fired. And you know
He's
they're
like, all right, I
legal,
got work
don't
to
ya?
do.
Why are they wasting government time on cameras, brother? Why are they wasting it? I can film everybody in this country. You know that, don't you? They're retarded here, and I'm going to go report them.
If he's thinking to himself right now, this guy's on drugs. Should I bother? Am I gonna if I shake him down, am I gonna find paraphernalia, or is this guy just loaded all the time?
Yeah, it's like, at what point does this guy just go, all right, you're asking for it, dude? I mean, this guy looks like a cop if you were to just draw one, too. I mean, doesn't he just look
Yes,
like
he
the
does.
stereotypical cop?
Yes, highway patrol sort.
Like,
sort of
if
cop.
this guy's not a cop, I don't know what job he would have.
Here we
They
go.
don't know that cameras are legal. They have no business wearing a badge. Do you understand me? Okay. What was your name again?
Jordan Sherrill.
Jordan Sherrill. I used to wear wires for the State Patrol. You know that? These things.
Right.
When people act stupid around them, I start filming them.
So now he's going, all right, the guy's mentally ill.
This is where a cop is justified in taking his weapon out and using it, right?
No, not yet. Not yet. He's thinking. He's wondering if that's going to happen, but he's really going.
He's like, is my body camera on
He's
right
going.
now?
No, he's thinking mental illness again. I didn't get in this business to deal with sick people, but okay.
I mean, that's what. Don't you think cops should probably learn how to deal with that?
Oh, they are being. It's a.
Right,
whole, I was thinking.
nowadays?
It's funny. I was thinking about it this morning that there's a whole culture shift in policing, where they're getting very attuned to all this stuff because they're dealing with so much of it. It's not their job. Let's be clear. It is not their job, but it's become their job.
Wild.
Yeah, and this guy's a perfect example.
This guy,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So listen here, I have a thing. A trooper broke the law yesterday in Oklahoma, and said that stamping a baby raper stamp on someone's face is a rape charge. Do you agree?
Yeah, that would be my question. Stamping a baby raper stamp?
This is the customer service aspect of being a police officer, by the way. And what he means by that is he was taking photos of federal employees, and he was putting baby raper on them, like stamping the picture and putting the words baby raper
on the picture.
And someone said to him, apparently, that's rape to do that.
Oh, I see.
According to his story
Okay.
that I've watched 1,000 times.
Why do you watch it?
I just watched it over so I could parse out what the hell's going on. So when folks like you ask me, what's he saying? I can say, well, you see.
Manic depressive now, like a bipolar 1, like he's in it. I worried about drugs at first, but now I'm thinking just a manic dude. But here we go.
I'm going to say it one more time. He said putting a baby raper stamp on someone's face is a rape charge. Would you agree with that?
No idea what that
Would you agree with that? Well, where I take your picture and then I put a baby raper stamp on your face for a joke. He says that's a rape charge. Would you agree with that? Who's your captain again?
Okay. Darce Wheels, my captain.
Darce, can you spell Darce?
No.
Darce?
I think so.
And what's the last name?
I think
You
so.
understand I'm out of alignment, right?
What's all that mean?
That is, they shipped a whole bunch of troopers to help out with this.
Oh, the fire? I could care less about the fire right
So
now.
he's not even from the area.
Cameras are illegal in this
Right?
country.
He's not even from the area.
Yeah.
I don't even. This guy
He's
is
just
a
there to help out
nomad,
the
apparently.
He's helping with the fire.
Oh, this cop? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what happened, the FedSmoker, he sees a uniformed officer and he just gets all giddy. He's like, oh my God. And he really wants the uniformed officers to accept him and be like, this guy knows. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's one
He
of
kind of
us.
has that tone where he like says something to him and he expects the guy to be like, oh yeah, totally FedSmoker. But he's not, there's just something missing there. So I think
Yeah,
all he really
like
wants is
reality.
for the cops to be like, you're one of the good guys, FedSmoker, and then he would calm down.
Why does he always? But he always does provokes them in awful ways.
Yeah, and I think it's
that's the
because
mania.
he's such an outcast, he can't be one of them. So
Do we
he's
know
out
where
there
he spends his
provoking them.
days other than provoking cops?
He's driving all around this country. I think where was the place everyone's like sending us a link to his? There's like a GoFundMe to like extradite him to a state of some kind because he's wanted for things. Yeah, he's involved in some bad stuff.
Like what?
Probably harassment and things like that.
He's
mostly.
Oh my God! All right, here we go. Why doesn't the cop like check him out?
I don't. That's the one thing I'm wondering about this cop is like, by this point he's like, all right, man, turn around, and then reads the Miranda rights, and then gets to the bottom of it, or at least throws him like a drunk tank or something.
Right. Okay, here we go.
Okay, as long as we're in this setting, I don't think it's going to be a problem. But don't do anything like if we're working, let us do our job first.
Oh, he's not working now. He's off duty.
Come talk to you. You're working for me. This is my country, okay? It's my job to come see where your mind's at, okay? All right? Sounds good?
Fair enough.
All right, he got agreement. FedSmoker got agreement, so he's happy now.
This guy is like, all right, I'm gonna drive all the way back to my fucking station.
Yeah, he's just getting gas. He's before work.
Right.
He's not on duty, and so he's like, if we were on duty, I'd be taking you down. I think.
Scariest
But okay.
looking cop I've ever seen.
Does it continue?
I mean, that's the basic gist of it, but I mean,
Does the guy drive off?
FedSmoker just kind of walks away.
Do we get like a
Still scratching.
debriefing from FedSmoker at the end? Is he like, all right, we got one.
Good one here.
Here, I'll play the last clip that we have. We'll see if
Okay.
we have it.
All right, good.
Tell them all. There's a warrior coming down the road, baby raper stamping every cop I see. Even twitching, brother. They even twitch around me. Ding, is this guy twitching? Is that a trooper over there twitching? Does he need a baby raper stamp?
Oh boy.
He's getting greedy. The cop's ready to leave, and he's like, I'm
say
gonna
he's
put a baby raper on all y'all.
Did he say he's a lawyer?
I thought he said he was a warrior.
A warrior coming
There's
down.
a warrior coming down the road. He's like Wyatt Earp, this guy, or something, you know?
This guy's going to do something violent.
Maybe.
Or become the object of violence.
Well, I think that's his ultimate goal, is to have a cop shoot him someday.
Has he said that?
No. That's all me theorizing.
I don't think so.
A hail of bullets.
He may get that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Like the Outsiders.
I don't think that's his wish, anyway. All right, let's get some voicemails in here.
Hey, Dr. Drew. Thanks for taking this message, man. I have a few questions for you today. Just to give you a brief history on me, I'm a young adult, and I'm having some rough side effects of childhood emotional neglect.
Uh-oh.
I have a hard time talking about my feelings or other people's feelings.
Okay.
I tend to push people away because it's easier than dealing with their emotions, because I have fear of mismanaging those feelings, which I have in the past.
Okay.
I've never been in a relationship, and I'm a virgin in my 20s because of this. A few other things I think are linked is I have an anxiety disorder or panic attacks, especially in social situations, and I think a food addiction, because I feel like I can force myself to have a full feeling, which is sometimes the only feeling that I feel like I can feel. Basically, is there any books or resources you can recommend that could help me with any of this? I'm currently too poor for face-to-face therapy, so until then I'm looking for something to help me now.
Did you say too poor for face-to-face therapy?
Yes.
No, reading does not help with stuff like this. Disavow yourself about reading making this better. It needs professional assistance. You mentioned multiple different diagnoses, each of which requires some sort of help, professionally managed help. And reading about illnesses, it's like reading about cancer and saying that's going to make my cancer better, or reading about heart disease, or reading about pneumonia. You can't read about these things and get better. You have to get some care. Now, the way to get free services is to check in with your community. So, I don't know where you are. Did she say where she was?
She did not.
I mean, each state is different in terms of availability of free services. Usually the state can provide resources for doing that. If not, go to a teaching center, medical schools, like School of Psychology. They will have students that are well supervised doing treatment for free typically. Get some access to that kind of care. You have to do a bit of research. I'm still itching all over the place thinking about RPC. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm not kidding. It's like weird how much that.
I know it well.
So yes, please do take care of yourself and get some proper help.
What's the opposite of that? Like when somebody maybe overshares too much of their feelings to people who don't necessarily want to hear about them.
Just bad judgment. I just call that bad judgment.
Yeah.
Did you not want to hear from her?
No. I'm talking in general. I'm even talking about myself a little bit. I feel like sometimes
You can't stop talking about not coming?
I'll just, maybe not that, but if someone's like, how's it going? I'll be like, well, and then I'll tell, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, you didn't want to hear it. You just wanted to hear it. Like, okay.
Bad judgment.
Yeah. Okay.
To pay attention. Be self-aware and aware of what others are experiencing. Here's Amanda, 28-year-old from Long Island. For as long as I can remember, I randomly get food stuck up my nose when I swallow.
What?
Yes.
Swallowing backwards.
This is another young lady that Josh needs to meet. It doesn't happen very often, but usually every month or two, there's an occurrence. I'll be eating, all of a sudden I feel pressure in my sinuses. I can't get it to come back down, so I have to make weird noises to loosen it up and blow it out of my nose.
Oh my God.
Any idea why this is happening? Because I sure would like to make it stop. That is called retropulsion. Retro meaning it pushes up the wrong way. Retropulsion of food. And that can be sort of just something you have. It can be something related to a neurological condition. It can be related to esophageal conditions. And
can it damage your nasal cavity?
It's not good for it. It can obviously affect the sinuses in suboptimal ways. Where it's if a freaking croissant comes out your nose.
Yeah, make sure you chew.
Yeah. And so this retropulsion can really be a problem. And have either an ENT or ear, nose, and throat doctor probably best to look at that.
Sounds like a pretty dope party trick though too, right?
If it's spaghetti.
Yeah, something wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you imagine it going both ways.
Yeah, you could do that. Get a little spaghetti out the nose.
Oh, my God.
I think there's like Amazing Jonathan did that.
I'm a 6'5", 275-pound man. A couple months ago, I started developing headaches around my cerebellum, around the base of his head, after making white with my girlfriend. That's a common place to get post-coital headaches. I found the same headache would occur when I masturbate, occasionally when I work out, during resistance training. That's actually a little concerning. Funny thing is, out of nowhere, they just stopped occurring with no change in my eating, exercise pattern, etc. These are typically postcoital headaches, but the fact that it happens with exertion and Valsalva bearing down is a little concerning. You can have arterial venous malformations and things in the back part of the brain also that can cause headaches. So you need to see a neurologist just to get it checked out. It's probably nothing. The overwhelming probability is it's nothing, but it'd be good to get that checked out.
It's interesting. I'm sure his headaches didn't do anything to stop him from having sex, though.
No, male.
I wonder how far we'd go. Like, what would be the thing? What would be for you that would stop you?
I think we're like praying mantises. If the woman was then going to chew our head off or something, if it's the right woman,
I'd be like, all right, that's fine.
Particularly young males would have trouble stopping themselves.
I get to bust that nut before you eat my head, right?
I'll figure it out. Is sort of what they think.
Okay,
We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it. I'll deal.
We'll cross that.
Think
bridge
about
when we
Annie.
come to
What
it.
would Annie do?
Yeah.
So,
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
oh my goodness. Another voice message.
Hi, Drew. My name's Paul. Big fan. Been listening to Loveline since I was 12 years old, actually, on my little radio next to my bed.
Wow.
Anyway, I have a little bit of an issue. I've had some trauma in my life in terms of people dying and killing themselves and whatnot, and I seem to have problems maintaining close relationships.
Okay.
I'm 34, and I just started seeing a psychiatrist
Good.
who wants to do therapy.
Good.
The only issue is I find her very attractive.
Fine.
So I'm curious
Good.
if I really want to open up to her, if that's a good idea, or if that's going to affect
No.
kind of how I present myself and my story and
Got it.
talk about things. So
I have a
Just
concern
wondering
with
if
this also, by the way.
Okay, good. Is he finished? Is there more to his little comment?
it's a good idea, or if I should go with a 75-year-old Jewish guy
No.
who is completely
Okay.
nothing to me other than a medical professional. Thank you.
So he's talking about something called erotic transference. Erotic transference is excellent. It's good. Trust me, she's had other males have erotic transference towards her.
Yeah, she
and
has.
the problem develops. The problem, Jesus. The problem develops if you don't tell her. That's exactly the wrong thing to do. The whole idea of therapy is that you discuss anything that spontaneously comes up, and how you relate and feel about the therapist is a critical piece in the whole process. And if you're already developing erotic transference for somebody who has difficulty with relationships, great news. That is great news, because now you have something to work on. And you have to kind of work that through. Why, you got that with somebody?
No, I always thought, like, if I had a therapist that I was attracted to, I would be more apt to share more.
And maybe more like to show up. We already know you share excessively. You have...
Yes, no, and I would, but I'm
You have a problem with that.
exactly. I would.
You have a problem with that. So probably in therapy, she start going, why don't you think more carefully about what it is you like to share?
That's true, but there are occasions where I would clam up. Like if it was like the 75-year-old Jewish guy, I just would be like, I don't really give a shit what this guy thinks.
Well,
about
but this is the territory you got to get into. You got to go, why don't you give a shit about me? I'm a
Right,
woman.
exactly.
What's
yeah.
going on?
I don't know.
What do you feel?
Because you're not a hot girl.
So
it's like
so the thing about therapy is that it's a co-created thing. Two humans relating, and the one has a training to help you parse out what's going on with you. So this hot therapist will hold the boundary. This is why I get so pissed off when people in positions of authority exploit their authority, whether it's somebody in management or a policeman or a teacher or a doctor, because it's precisely the person that needs that boundary held
Right.
who would think about sort of violating the boundary. No, the person without those kinds of issues doesn't do it. They just sort of they know there's a boundary there, and they respect it. If you have boundary problems, then you're the one that's going after that person. That person needs to hold that boundary, and then you struggle against it. And believe me, sometimes people are pissed when the hot therapist doesn't respond to him. He may be totally pissed off about that. But all the therapist will do will just go, why do you feel that way?
That's kind of
What's
fun.
going on? Yeah, it's how you reprogram what's going on in your head. Does that all make sense?
No, totally. I
You
mean,
gonna go to therapy?
well, yeah.
I'm sending Entity for an HPV vaccine. I'm sending you for therapy.
I'll go to therapy.
Did
yeah.
you expect that?
No, not. I mean, I've been dabbling, but I just haven't found like a person yet. But I always said to myself, like, a hot girl would be the best therapist. Because
but
it just
typically,
would be, I'd be excited to go see her. I'd be excited to share.
Good. That's good. But
You know?
I like that. However, generally speaking, I don't want to get overly generalizing about this, but if you really want to be there, it's not right.
No, I hear that.
There should be some discomfort at some level.
Right.
And if you want to be there for anything, it should be because you feel confidence in the professional skill of the individual you're with.
Of course, yeah.
That should make you want to be there, not looking at somebody's.
It's just this subconscious like thing. Like if I have a show or something and I'm like, oh, there's like pretty girls in the crowd, I feel like way more excited to do it than I do when there's not. You know?
Of course, you're a male. I can't do anything about that.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Like if there was a bank robbery, I've always said like I wouldn't do anything to get involved to stop it unless there was like a pretty bank teller or something. Then I'd be like, oh, now I'm gonna
lay your life down on behalf of
Hell
her.
yeah. That's the only
Now,
time.
is that in your mind? Do you imagine that's going to impress her and you're going to walk off in the sunset together?
Kind of.
Or is it just because you want to protect that genetic material and you feel that?
Both.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one of those things will happen, the other will not.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but I could be like, hey, let's get your number here to see what's up.
No. Voice message. Guinevere? You think Guinevere is going to... Okay. All right. Next
Hey,
voice.
Dr. Drew.
Hi.
This is Travis. I was wondering about my Xanax intake. I take 2 milligrams twice a day.
Good boy.
I heard that's a bit much.
That's a lot.
But Xanax is the only medicine that I have seen to work the best for my situation.
Which is?
And I was concerned about maybe memory issues
For sure.
or possible side effects from taking that much.
Yep.
I do notice if I run out quickly, I'll have withdrawal symptoms very quickly.
Oh, yes.
They're not fun.
Yes.
I heard that it possibly may give me seizures.
If you don't take your medicine,
like
it will.
a fever and some bad twitches, and it just feels awful. Should I back off it a little bit? My tolerance is pretty high. I know that there's not much you can do other than taper off, which will give more side effects. If anything I said is not true, I would love your advice. I love you.
All right. Thank you. Love you too. A little complicated. That's a lot of Xanax. A lot. And yes, if you try to stop, you will have seizures. Somebody could take you through a cold turkey withdrawal, but it would take about 2 weeks, and somebody have to really know what they're doing, and it's pretty miserable. The slow taper would be miserable over many, many, many months. I don't believe slow taper ever works. Well, I don't like putting people through that because it rarely works, but you're not an addict, right? He doesn't have the addict behavior associated with it. He's drug dependent. He's dependent on it. He has withdrawal if he stops. And if a psychiatrist prescribed that and somebody did a proper workup on you, and this is actually working for you, this may be worth the risk of taking this much medication. I couldn't function on all that medication. No way. I personally couldn't, so I wouldn't want to do that. You seem to be functioning pretty well, as I continue to scratch myself. Right? I mean, it's ridiculous. But if you're seeing a psychiatrist, you're properly worked up, if you want a second opinion, that would be okay as well. I don't know what the underlying condition is you're treating because you didn't tell me that, but it may be worth the risk. Generally, it's not a great idea, but I can't say that it isn't worth the risk for you. What I can tell you is you should never take opiates with that much Xanax because it can stop your breathing. That's for sure.
How long does someone have to be on Xanax of that magnitude for how long until they start experiencing withdrawal when they stop,
a week.
A week? That's it? That's all it takes?
Fast, yeah.
That's wild.
Fast. I mean, man, not as long as you've been on it for a month, but yeah, you can be on a milligram once a day and have withdrawal symptoms very, very quickly.
Really?
Very quickly.
Wow.
These rapidly high binding affinity benzodiazepines cause that very quickly. That's why a lot of people complain, like some people complain after taking like an Ambien, which is a similar kind of medication. Not really, but sort of. That the next day they have more panic. They have more anxiety and stuff like that. It just doesn't, you're on it, and then when you come off, there's some sort of rebound. It can happen almost immediately. Next question.
Hi, Dr. Drew. My name is Chloe. I'm calling because I just want to know why I have this attraction to men who are, I say, depressed or anxious, men that are a little bit neurotic. I feel like I'm an attractive woman, and I'd say I have a lot going for me, but I tend to date guys who have like addiction issues or with problems.
Yeah,
and it's not because I want to fix them, but I feel like they just get me more.
Right.
But people are always like, why are you dating these losers, like these alcoholics and stuff? I don't know. I just want to know why that is. Like, why do I find myself drawn to men who have like depression or anxiety issues? Thanks. Bye.
You bet. How do you feel about shoulder hair?
I was just going to say, Chloe, give me a ring.
Yes. This could be the one.
I'm going to make all those dudes look like such losers. You have no idea. Like,
Josh,
I feel like she would be drawn to me for all those reasons,
Yes.
but then I would blow those dudes out of the water.
Yes.
In a good way.
In a good way, bad way. In a bad, good way. In any event, that's codependency, full on. We don't know, what I would look for was your relationships in your family of origin. I'm guessing mom or dad was an alcoholic addict. And what happens is you establish your fittedness, your love map, some people call it, the way you fit in an attachment relationship with people you care deeply about. You have some very, very strong and powerful feelings about those people who were like that in your life. And particularly if they were traumatizing, that attachment is even stronger. We get a traumatic attachment on top of that. And so you start looking for those people. And your body is a perfect instrument. So what you're attracted to every time, as you know, is going to be one of those guys. And so what we tell people is, well, if you really want to change, next time you feel lightning bolts attraction, you don't get to date that guy.
Whoa.
That you cannot date them. You think butterflies, not lightning bolts. And if you can find somebody that's not quite as sick as the guys you're normally attracted to, but still has some of the attractive features, like they're not totally together or whatever is, well, and shoulder hair is a plus. And if you can form a relationship with somebody like that, then you're kind of moving out of this. And if you can't, that is time for psychotherapy, because you are clearly, what you do, much the way we were just talking about, how you reform your fit with the therapist so you fit in a healthy context, a secure attachment, and go out in the world now find the right kind of people. You can tell there's something pathological about this by how your friends are reacting. It's not what you're meant for in life. You could do different. Now, I don't want to say better because it's you like it and whatever, fine. It's not going to go that well for you unless you find a way to sort of find your way out of that, and that's going to be with treatment.
You got to find someone with loser energy that's got winning qualities.
And shoulder hair.
That's me.
Yeah. It's true. Who could resist?
I don't know.
Lost my mom to cancer because of not knowing how to handle or process the grief. I fell heavily into depression. About 8 months later, when I started to feel the depression lifting, my soon-to-be ex-wife told me she cheated on me. Because of this, and the fact that my first girlfriend turned out to be a pathological liar, I don't know if I can ever trust anyone again. What do you suggest I do to get back in the position of being trusting? Well, you've obviously been too trusting, right? He's been too trusting to this point. And I wonder much with this guy, the way we were talking to our last voice message, if he's got like a broken picker. He's broken to people that he shouldn't be trusting. He's rather attracted to people that he shouldn't be trusting. I would say a simple way to approach this without treatment is to start dating lots and lots of people. Don't think in terms of these being dates. Think about in terms of, I'm just learning about myself with other people. Just start to experience lots of different people and see if you can kind of dig in and see yourself through a new pair of glasses and see other people and learn to enjoy spending time with them that don't have that lightning bolt attraction, and see if you can find your way to somebody healthy. And I bet if you start thinking in terms of, I don't want all the things that have been so problematic, I want something more nourishing that maybe I would not have been attracted to in the past, see if you can find your way into something better that way.
Because some people, don't they go into something and they're like, well, I feel this feeling and here we go, it's going to happen again. And it's almost like it becomes a
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Or
that's
it's
the
something that
bolt.
they don't even see past. So they see the hurt coming down the pipeline, but they just take it in.
But I'm so attracted, she's so hot, and they just go on anyway.
Right.
And this is, if you don't want it to happen again, don't do that again. It's again, people don't think about where attractions come from and what they have to do to sort of accommodate them. They just go with them.
Interesting.
And attractions, if you're a super healthy person with a super healthy childhood, which is very few of us, and it's not me, because I'd have years and years of therapy too to work my shit out. But if you were lucky enough to be that, you can trust your attractions. But everyone else, the attractions are clouded by these relationships with these flawed people that raised us, and it can result in some problematic relationships if you're not careful. Makes sense?
Wild.
Yeah. Like Robert with his mom.
Right.
And his biological dad and his stepdad. Did you get much about the biological dad too?
I did here and there. He was a Frenchman. He was concierge or something like that, or he parked cars. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, he was a no-good scoundrel from what I understand.
According to the mom, because he was gone by the time Robert was 3. And, although he said he lived in that house with his mom.
Well, he told me this story.
Yeah.
That years later, he did find out who his father was, and his father came into one of the leather bars and is a homosexual man too.
Oh, interesting.
And there was maybe, I got kind of cloudy in these details, but there was maybe a situation where he had to tell him, like, get away from me, but the dad was like maybe a little attracted, not knowing Robert was his son, kind of thing.
Oh, how weird. That's crazy. And again, in my interview, Robert dated Bert Convy.
Oh, I heard all these. Freddie Mercury.
I didn't get Freddie Mercury. I got Bert Convy and
Yakov
Smirnoff. Who?
Yeah. Did you ask him about that?
We got to get him in here on tape and ask that question. So we got to get Yakov Danov. That's an important thing. We get Yakov in here and play that tape for him. And I'm sure he'll come in and do a little segment.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we'll reach out for confirmation.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Selleck. Tom Selleck, yeah.
Tom Selleck, yeah. And lots of details about
who
everybody.
I've heard rumors about, but this is another
RPC.
one of those.
Now Robert also claimed that Bert Convy died of AIDS, which he had brain cancer, as far as the world knows, but
maybe he was hiding it. One of those things, they didn't want, because it was the AIDS epidemic had a stigma about it back then, and people lying about why they died.
That's true. Who knows? Interesting stuff. Robert Paul Champagne. Well, you'll have to stay tuned. We've got more for you all on that. Josh, a privilege again.
Thank you so much, and I'm excited to see all the footage. When
you should be. It's going to be good, and then I'm excited for us to go out and do our in the field work with him. This should be very interesting. And again, check out DrDrew.com, all the stuff there, and DrDrew.tv. Don't forget to sign up there so we can give you a blast. And we're going live. You can ask questions directly and live on the weekends when I do a little show that way. And thank you for being a part of this show. We appreciate it very, very much. And be sure to support people that support these podcasts and this broadcast, this YouTube channel, so we can keep doing it. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the DrDrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.